I think the Blue Jays are going to be a dangerous team, but I think when you look at the Yankees, that this is the best division always in baseball. You got the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Rays. I mean, all 4 teams can make the playoffs. I told Speedy I'm not going to be surprised at the 3 wild card teams to come out of the American League East. I could see it.
That's possible, definitely.
I could see it.
I would be shocked.
I could see it because the American League Central's horrible, okay? It's just a horrible division. Besides the White Sox, that's a horrible division. And then you look at the American League West, the Angels look like they could be good, but they never stay healthy. The Athletics are always good, but they can never.
They just trade everybody, so they're probably not going to.
They can never go to the Astros. Yes, Verlander's coming back, but I don't trust that pitching staff. And then the Mariners, who made a lot of moves this offseason, I expect them to be a lot better than they have been over the last couple of years, and they have a pretty good young rotation. I don't trust this lineup either for power, especially going into the American League East and have to play in those American League East powerhouse teams. So I don't trust any of the other divisions except the American League East to expect it. And don't count Baltimore out either. I know they had a bad season last year. They got a couple of good young prospects coming. They have the best young catching prospect that's going to be up this year. They have one of the best young outfielders in baseball coming up this year. When you're terrible, you get good draft picks.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to give them a couple of years, but they'll be there. And talking about the Yankees, I heard you talking before about
Judge,
about the Yankees, and I think they're catching. I think they have an excellent defensive catching duel.
Yes.
Okay. I think they had to get rid of Sanchez. They definitely had to get rid of him. So I think that their catching is pretty good. The Yankees have a good team no matter what.
This is the best defensive team the Yankees have had since the 90s Yankees. If you look at this, and maybe the infield when Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Robertson Cano, and Mark Teixeira was playing and Jorge Posada. But if you look at this infield now, Donaldson, he's an upgrade. Joe Shell is a great defensive player. He's an upgrade at the third base position. The kid that they brought in from the Twins, that was an add-on. That was a great move. What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Kiner-Falefa, who's a good, he's a good hitter. He's not a power. He hits for average. He's a great defensive player. If you put Gleyber Torres at second half the time and DJ LeMahieu, you have 2 quality defensive players at second. You have Rizzo, who's to me a Gold Glove first baseman still, and then Trevino and Takanasha, whatever.
Higashioka. We'll get it eventually.
And they also got the kid from the Twins too in that trade too, who's supposedly a very good defensive player as well. And in the outfield, I mean, come on. The power in that outfield, you have Gallo's a Gold Glove winner. Aaron Judge could be a Gold Glove winner. I mean, Aaron Hicks is a Gold Glove winner. And Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, that's a pretty good, powerful outfield to mix around for the whole season. I mean, if they stay healthy, this lineup should have 500 home runs, and they should be one of the top 3, top 4 offenses in all of baseball.
Definitely. But you know what? They have to win because how much longer is Aaron Boone going to be there if they don't
This
win?
is it. If they don't
it has to be.
Yeah, if they don't win, if they don't get to the World Series this year, Aaron Boone is gone. I know they extended him to 3 years, and Tyler Harrison, who was on our show, who was part of our show a couple of months ago.
Hated him right from the start.
He hated him right from the start, but here's the thing. Aaron Boone, for a guy that's never managed, he's had a winning season every single year. I know everybody's going to say, well, look at the team. We have seen good teams and good managers not win, okay? So I don't want to hear, well, it's a good team. Aaron Boone 2 years ago had more injuries than any team in Major League history. He had lost Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton for a significant amount of time, and they won. They had 105 wins that year. So to say Aaron Boone is not a good manager, it's crazy. But we have seen Aaron Boone in the playoffs. He's made a lot of mistakes. And when you make mistakes like that, it's going to appear from all the good that you did in the regular season. And we've seen that. And Joe Girardi, everybody keeps saying we shouldn't have got rid of Joe Girardi. I saw an article that one of the worst things Brian Cashman did would get rid of Joe Girardi. How many championships did Joe Girardi have? He had one. He had one championship when the Yankees spent $500 million in the offseason, adding A.J. Burnett, CeCe Sabathia, and Mark Teixeira, okay? So I don't want to hear about Joe Girardi because Joe Girardi, let's be honest, He didn't do anything. And you want to know something? If you tally the 3 or 4 years that Aaron Boone was there, and you tally the four best years that Joe Girardi had, Aaron Boone would have a better record than Joe Girardi. And that's a fact. Go look at it statistically.
No, you're right. You're definitely right. But like you said before when I was listening, they have to sign Judge, because could you imagine him going to the Red Sox?
By the way, Juan Soto hit another home run, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, if Judge goes to, say, the Red Sox or Toronto, I mean, that's just, forget it. Yankee fans are just going to jump in front of the subway.
Yeah, well, I expect the Mets, if they could stay healthy, to be a playoff team. I always expect the Yankees to be a playoff team this year. I want to see that this is a very important year for Aaron Boone. I think this is a very important year for Aaron Judge, because I think this is the last year you're going to see Aaron Judge as a Yankee, because the Yankees should have signed him before the season started. He's now going to, he's going to wait until the offseason. He will be an unrestricted free agent. There is no way the Yankees are giving him a 7-year extension. I think this will be the last time the Yankees see Aaron Judge a part of the Yankees organization. I believe they will go hard after Juan Soto in the offseason if they lose Aaron Judge. That's not just me saying. I've seen 3 articles about it today that Juan Soto to the Yankees in the offseason. So it's sad, because I like Aaron Judge. I think Yankee fans forget how good he is when he is in the lineup. He's a special player. He's not just a big man that hits for power. For a big man who hits for power, hits for average, steals bases. He's a Gold Glove defensive player. He's a 5-tool player. So he just can't stay healthy. I mean, it's just so big of a man. So it's a shame. But and all the Yankee fans that took shots at Giancarlo Stanton, he's the only one that hits in the playoffs. So it just doesn't make any sense why the Yankee fans can't stand Giancarlo Stanton. And in the second half of the season, I think going into like the last 2 months of baseball, he had 16 home runs, and he hit like 17 home runs the last 2 months of baseball.
Yeah, he was the only one hitting.
He came hot.
the only player that could do that in baseball is Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, it's just that's how good of a player he is. And Yankee fans forget that they didn't give up anything for him. They gave up nothing for him. Those prospects that Derek Jeter traded for, not one of them stepped on a baseball field.
I think one got traded again.
Yes. Not one of them stepped on a Major League Baseball field. So what does that tell you? For a guy that won the MVP of the year before that. And he's still a 30 and 100 type of player. I don't know why Yankee fans hate this guy. So, Met fans they would love him. They'd kiss his ass. I mean, it's so...
No, he'll probably only play 40 games if he became a Mets. Between his injury history and the Mets' injury history, we're lucky if we get 40 games out of Giancarlo Stanton.
It's crazy.
He'd have a careast-ending injury with the Mets.
That being said, Wilson Ramos was injury-prone with Washington. He actually came over to the Mets and stayed healthy. He stunk here, but he at least stayed healthy. It was weirdly enough.
That's about it.
I get sick because I don't hate the Mets. I'm a Yankee fan. I don't hate the Mets. I always root on the Mets. Everybody says, well, you're a Yankee fan. You should be rooting on the Mets. But I love it when I go to a Met game and I'm wearing a Yankee hat, how much I get booed when I walk down the intersection. I'm like, why are you booing me? I'm at a Met game and I'm a Yankee fan. I'm rooting for the Mets. Why are you booing me? And it's just, listen, I understand. And me and Speedy were talking about it before I brought him here. I said, I don't understand Met fans. I don't hate the Met fans, but the Met fan hates the Yankees. And I understand why. The Yankees won all those years, and the Mets haven't won since 1986. So they have to hate a team. Why not hate the big brother and hate him? So I understand why the Met fans. And that's why I hope that I see, before the next 2 or 3 years and Max Scherzer's contract is up, I'd love to see the Mets win a World Series because to me, it doesn't matter. As long as the championship comes home to New York, it doesn't matter to me. So
see, that's good. That's rare.
Yeah, it's rare. I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm not rooting. If the Yankees are playing the Mets, I'm not rooting for the Mets. And you will never see me wear memorabilia of the Mets, okay? I will not wear a Mets hat. I will not wear a Mets jersey. You will not see that from me. But going to a Met, I love Citi Field. I think Citi Field's a beautiful stadium. I love it even more than Yankee Stadium. I think it's more family-oriented, and it's more fun to go to at a ballpark. I just, obviously the Mets aren't the Yankees, and that's the difference. So it's different. Every single one of the Yankees, I believe with that lineup, and I'm seeing 5 or 6 All-Stars on that team this year if they actually stay healthy. So it's crazy. And that shortstop that they added, He's going to be like another Didi. I'm telling you right now. They're going to bring him in. He's not a power hitter. He's going to hit 20 home runs this year. He's going to bat over 300, and he's going to be a sensational defensive player for the Yankees. And that's what I think is going to happen.
As Cano just booted an error at second base.
Not surprised.
Nice going, Robinson Cano.
The Mets will win this game, by the way.
So I want to ask one of the fans. Carl had a good question. Yeah. Ask him if he agrees with the Mets retiring Keith Hernandez's jersey this year.
Absolutely.
I definitely do. You know what? Finally, we have an owner that at least does stuff for Mets history. Look at when Citi Field was built. It was built for the Dodgers. Everything was the Dodgers. I mean, it's crazy because the Wilpons were Fred Wilpon was a Dodger fan. It had no Mets history the first year, except for the Shea Stadium Bridge. But I mean, it's about time. The Houston Astros had more retired numbers than the Mets. So, it's about time that the Mets are starting to do this stuff.
Well, Rob, we really appreciate you joining us. We'd love to get you on again. I'm obviously talking baseball. As the season progresses, I'm sure you'll have your own thoughts to this Mets. I expect the Mets to be a playoff contending team. Hopefully Jacob deGrom comes back healthy. The scapular problem will probably be a problem all season long for him. Like you said, I don't expect this to be a good sign for the Mets, especially a week before the season. And he has to have another spring training. So they're saying 4 weeks, expect it to be 7 to 8 weeks before he steps back on the field. I expect a late May, early June to see Jacob deGrom. That's what I expect. So it's crazy. I think Jake is the best pitcher in baseball when healthy. I mean, there's not many guys. You know what he's going to throw, but you can't hit it. And that's the amazing thing with Jake. He throws 2 good pitches. He used to throw 3. What happened to his changeup? That to me is he had the best, if not the best, the second best changeup in baseball. And last year he stopped throwing it. It doesn't make any sense. I think throwing that 100-mile-per-hour fastball is not going to benefit him as he gets older. So, as a Met fan, you just hope that Jake stays healthy and Max stays healthy. If that happens, both players should win at least 18 to 20 games and expect the Mets to be a playoff contending team. So
definitely. Thanks for having me on. I'm on I heard you guys talk about this before. I'm on SportsWire Radio on Friday nights, which is on sportandaaron.com. It's a station out of England, actually. And we're also on Saturdays on Roku at TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
You know what's funny? We just had an English guy, and you do a show on in England. So
we're all over the place, but we're actually based out of England. But most of us are from the United States.
You know what? I'll tune in, man. To me, I always root for the underdog, especially New York people. That are doing stuff all around the country and really putting out good content. I really appreciate you joining us, and we definitely will get you on again, my friend.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.